what really winds me up, because people are being conned. Anybody who buys a campervan or motorhome is indoctrinated. Over the last few weeks, I've come under quite a lot of flack, some interesting comments, including that one, which actually went on and got much worse, but more of that later. I've had lots of questions and accusations, or maybe some of them more politely, assumptions. Today we can discuss some of these. Not all your questions though, I've got some of those saved for a special occasion. We will talk about why or why not you should buy a new van, a DVLA misunderstanding, why I do this, how much I'm paid, what my sponsorship deals are, do I work for VW, do I enjoy doing this, and will I sing a song? No, definitely not, but I will explain why I said that. I will also touch on some positive stories which I've had. Anyway, firstly, I would love a brand new campervan, and I'm sure lots of others would too, but I just can't afford one. New campervans are now very expensive, as are all vehicles, not just campervans. I've covered this recently, and I will be bringing you more new campervans soon, including an exclusive reveal, hopefully. I will also have some much older vans featured, and a chat with a used van dealer who's absolutely hilarious.
I wasn't drinking it,
So do subscribe if you want to see those upcoming videos. The comments I've had about the market crash and the new vans have all been comments such as, ridiculous price. I can't believe people are daft enough to spend that much money on a van. Too expensive, simple as that. There are reasons for these prices going up. We have discussed before, and I'm not going to do that again today, other than just point out the fact that if the base van, the chassis the van is actually built from, has increased by 10, 20 grand, you can't expect the campervan not to have increased. And these have all gone up. But if you can't afford a new one, and that's me included, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy van life or the campervan outdoor lifestyle. I did a video saying campsites and campervans are not expensive. The point of the video was in response to some people saying that you can buy lots of foreign holidays for the price of a campervan. And there's no doubting that. Yes, you can. But owning a campervan, a motorhome, a caravan is a lifestyle choice. We don't buy them to have cheap holidays. We're not trying to save money. We choose the freedom, the flexibility of being able to just get away whenever we choose. With campervans, especially the VW Transporter or the Ford Transit Teneo, that size of van, which is a daily driver also, it doesn't sit on your drive, not being used. It can be taken to the shops, work, the school run, maybe supporting your local football team and having a brew in the back of your van before the game. And yes, I've actually seen some of you doing that and having your lunch too, which is exactly what that kind of van is to be able to use for. And of course, they are expensive, but they are a choice. But back to the price of them in a minute. But comments of, it's clickbait, and repeatedly saying, that's not what the headline says. Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I've generally avoided clickbait titles whilst I've been doing YouTube, despite some advice from a couple of you telling me that I should have some half-naked thumbnails to attract some more views. But somehow, I don't think that half-naked me would kind of have the same effect as you're thinking it will. And yes, I do know that you didn't mean me. Some titles I've done may be perceived slightly clickbaity, but they always depict what the video is about. Let's take, for example, is your van illegal? It raises the question, the video is helping you stay legal, making sure owners understand that loads must be secured, tyre ratings are correct, so the video is about exactly what it says. And another one, it could have killed us. That's what the owner's words were, and yes, the van could have done. There was loads wrong with that van, and it shows just why that thorough research is required when you're buying a van. Campervans and campsites are not expensive. Okay, this does make a statement which is clearly untrue. Vans and some campsites are very expensive. Whether they are value is another story. This is a title to make you think. When you watch the video, you will understand the point which is being made, is that the price is irrelevant to the point which is being made. I was accused of getting people to buy expensive vans and stay on expensive sites. Interesting, especially as in the video I said, it's not what you drive, it's what you do. You don't need to buy new. And I even talk about vans from 5,000, 10,000, etc. And I was challenged on the expensive sites, and you can only get a car park for 20 quid with no facilities. Well, off the top of my head, I reeled off Sands, Tintagel, King's Arthur's car park, which are 10 quid. I also said that there's free stayovers are possible, like Strawberry Fields. You know, that's where those famous trees are, you know the ones which I mean. And by the way, if you've ever been to Strawberry Fields, strawberry picking or pumpkin picking or anything, and you've been disappointed that you've not been able to take your dog inside, they're actually currently building a dog-friendly cafe. So you can stay over for free, you don't even have to let them know, and then have an amazing cooked breakfast in the morning with your dog in the cafe. And additionally, with Britstop's app, Park for Night, search for sites, there are lots of other options. And again, I've mentioned those before. So how am I pushing people to expensive sites? I'm not. It's absolutely no benefit to me. I've not even mentioned any sites. Another statement, I'm pushing people to buy expensive vans. Well, firstly, looking at vans, reviewing them is not telling anyone to buy one. A car magazine isn't selling you cars, it's showing you what's available, their features and the reviewer's opinions of them. And if you actually watched my other videos, I've often said that the NCC approved vans that I'm often speaking about are often cheaper than the tarted up, often inferior spec examples. It's getting people to ask the right questions and understand what they're comparing. More on that later. It was also said that I was championing the NCC. And yes, I am 100% behind an organisation who wants manufacturers to comply with all current gas, electric and health and safety regulation. I don't think anybody could really not be behind that. Oh, and by the way, I don't even think that the NCC know I even exist, so I'm certainly not paid by them. Nor am I paid by Volkswagen. Again, unfortunately, I don't think they even know who I am. I was told last week that my video looked like an advert, and I can promise you that it wasn't. Swift nor anybody else paid me to do a video. I asked the dealer if I could come in and do the video, and I've asked to go back to do another van soon. I'm really, really grateful for these companies who are allowing me onto the premises to allow me to film. Like I've said before, me reviewing, looking at vans, is not me saying, buy this van. Just like Top Gear, Auto Express, Autocar, they weren't saying buy this car. SME 150, seen through glass, they are providing a vision to the viewer, an insight into the vehicles, talking about the features, good and bad. I am doing exactly just that. My personal opinion, my thoughts, which I'm sharing with you. It's also great that you share yours in the comments, even if you don't like the van which is being discussed, which happened with last week's video. We all have different opinions, taste and experiences, and there are other YouTubers also talking about these vans, which is brilliant. The more of us doing it, the better for our community. There are a few other YouTube channels I would love to speak to so we can discuss our experiences. I love getting out there and meeting people. It's a pleasure to meet many different people and businesses to chat with, film some videos, and it's even nicer to hear that I've helped people, which is largely what I'm here doing. I love meeting you guys, seeing places and businesses in the industry, and have a growing number of opportunities to bring you a variety of vans from different manufacturers, different products, and all whilst being totally impartial and honest. I am not sponsored by any of these brands, and most of the time it's a case of me saying, can I come and have a look at that Campervan which you've got? But actually, that said, I've been contacted by a few people recently, so I'm really pleased that they're seeing what I'm doing and are very happy about it. Another thing I really like about my channel is my conversation videos, and hopefully I can find more time to do these. Meeting you and talking to you about your experiences is fantastic. I have the ideas and the guests in mind. It's just the time and the money as well. I often don't break even whilst making these videos, never mind having a 600-mile round trip to meet a guest. Then add my family time and the voluntary work which I do. It's quite a lot for a stress-relieving hobby which I've got, which is why the next topic of discussion really doesn't help. What I don't like is the negativity, but to be quite honest with you, that's just the internet and there's absolutely no avoiding it. But it's the comments and the responses from people when they clearly haven't even watched the video. Maybe they've just seen the title and then they start commenting just incorrect replies. If you've got an opinion, that's fine. Opinions are fine if they are towards the van or product which I'm talking about. But please don't make it personal. I can't help my voice or how I look. Actually, that said, a few jokes have been made about Gary Barlow, and that is quite funny. That's not insulting in any way. Well, actually, maybe it is to Gary Barlow, but I don't take offence to it. I know that most of my videos are well received by most of you. The high like percentage which I get on my videos do show that, although you do like some more than you like others. And that's not a vanity metric as far as I'm concerned. It's showing that I'm delivering what you expect and what you hope for. But if you don't like it, feel free to let me know constructively. And if you don't like me, then watch somebody else. I watch YouTube videos too, generally about cars. I love Sam from Seen Through Glass, JM, Shmee150, Petrol Ped, Joe Achilles. But there are others I don't like as much. But I respect what they do. I just don't watch them, and I watch the ones which I do like. I'm grateful for our campervan community, as I've mentioned before, and it can thrive no matter what the brand, the size or the cost of our vehicle. It doesn't even matter whether it's fully kitted out as a camper, a combi, a panel van or anything else which we may have. Now, I received an email on the 12th of August, which I won't read the full email, but the start kind of makes things kind of all worthwhile. Hi, I thought I would drop you a line to let you know the impact your videos are having in the real world. Hearing positive stories like this one makes it all worthwhile. I've mentioned before that I was approached at the NEC show and somebody thanked me, as since they saw one of my videos, they actually got the bed checked and it hadn't been fitted properly. So they were grateful for me to highlight this to them. Otherwise they wouldn't have known and they wouldn't have had it fixed. Something might have happened, something might not, but at least now they know that it's safe. I've been thanked for giving people ideas of things to buy, the absolute essentials, your smoke alarms, your fire extinguishers, things such as that. Things that some beginner campers hadn't thought of. I am genuinely very, very grateful for all the support and encouragement that I've received from you. So I really do thank you for that. And I'm often asked, do I work for Volkswagen? Why do I always talk about VW? And in response, I've said VW do not even know that I exist. I like the brand. The strong residuals which they hold are a big positive. Resale values are better than most. The scene, the community that I've often spoke about, tons of festivals and events. But it isn't the only brand, and it was only in last week's video that I featured a Ford Tornado conversion. And in some upcoming videos, there's going to be a lot more Ford Transits, Renaults, Mercedes and others. There will also be some vans I'm not yet allowed to talk about, and it won't be a VW. Well, not this year anyway. But it's not about what you drive, it's about the adventures, the places you visit, the things you do, the memories which you make. So if you can't afford to buy a brand new campervan, buy a used one and still have the same experiences. Buy a van like Tony did and do it up yourself. Highly recommended with a habitation check afterwards. You need to make sure it's safe. I am not forcing people to buy expensive vans. I just want you to buy the right van. The van you understand. Imagine being a first-time buyer and buying a van for big money, only to find out that when you went to sell it, the campervan wasn't as good as you thought. It was a cheap van, but looked good. Wouldn't you have wanted to know what to look for beforehand? Understand what the differences were and what questions to ask? You may not have bought the overpriced poor van, and you might have even saved money on a better van. A recent comment stated, as for safety, the DVLA are quite strict on conversions and garages follow that. A mass of information and guidelines are freely available. Well, registration with the DVLA for motor caravan is a video completely on its own, but unless you're talking approved manufacturers, the manufacturers with the whole vehicle type approval, then the DVLA has no relevance on the safety aspect of a camper. But the main point here is garages follow that, and the guidelines, well, not everyone does, hence me highlighting it. The numerous pictures of poor vans on Facebook groups, blown tyres because they've not been correctly rated, household wiring in the vans, incorrect gas fittings for the installation, and the biggest bugbear of mine, what really winds me up because people are being conned, is the mis-selling, misadvertising of campervans. Buyers, new buyers especially, need to know what they are looking for. Whatever people buy, ultimately, it makes no difference to me. But if I can help the buyer from making a potential mistake, then brilliant. Or I can show them a van that they've never seen before, they've never heard of, then that's amazing. Don't buy a new van if you can't afford one. But if you can, make sure that you make the right choice. You can have this lifestyle for a whole range of different budgets. If I could afford one, I would buy a new van. Technology and vehicles are improving all the time, becoming more comfortable, they ride better. I like the smoothness of the newer models, the improved general comfort with the improved materials, the heated seats and steering wheels, better climate control, the technology being able to control your camper settings from phones and tablets, program your heating, checking your water levels, playing with your lights, etc. I would 100% buy a brand new van if I was in a position to do so. However, I am not. And if you are like me and you're not either, then you don't need to buy a brand new van to experience the lifestyle. You can buy a second-hand camper van. Maybe just buy a basic van and add some furniture, a stove, a power station. Just get out and enjoy the life. Life is short. It isn't a destination, it's a journey, and we should all make the most of it. Tony here bought a transporter and turned it into a camper on a very, very small budget. Or you can have a look here for some incredible camper vans, which do cost a bit more. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.